As part of We the People, celebrating 250 years, here's This Day in History. Proudly sponsored by American Family Insurance.
As we count down to America's 250th birthday this summer, we're sharing our We the People series, the people, places, and things of the past that have shaped our country into what it is today. And today, our Charlie Shortino shares what happened on May 19th in Baraboo.
Hello again. On this day, May 19th, 1884, the first Ringling Brothers circus performance took place in Baraboo. The Ringling Brothers got their start 2 years earlier, in 1882, with an act titled Ringling Brothers Variety Performance in Maizomanie. That show featured jugglers and skits, but in 1884 they officially launched as a traveling circus, performing for the first time with a rented horse and traveling wagon. They would begin transporting their circus via railroad in 1890, making it possible to have bigger productions and larger tours. In 1906, the Ringlings would buy the Barnum and Bailey Circus, eventually combining the two shows into one during World War I. The circus would be considered the greatest show on earth for decades, riding high until the 1970s, when its popularity would begin to decline. The circus would cease operations in 2017 due to increasing costs and decreasing revenue. In 2023, the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus launched what they called a reimagination of its show with traditional performers like acrobats and clowns. That's This Day in History for May 19th. For We the People, I'm Charlie Shortino.